I don't think anyone wants a world where you can only say things that private companies judge to be true, where every text message, email, video, and post has to be fact-checked before you hit send. But at the same time, we also don't want misinformation to spread that undermines confidence in vaccines, stops people from voting, or causes other harms.
Here's the strange thing about American discourse in the year 2021. A huge percentage of it is funneled through a handful of tech companies. And basically, no one in America seems happy with the current arrangement. Those on the right are convinced the tech companies are censoring conservatives, that they're in the pocket of liberals. The left have voiced its own criticisms that tech companies are platforms that serve to massively propagate not just right-wing propaganda, but dangerous disinformation. They profit off it. For example, there's a study out today that links a dozen social media accounts to most of the anti-vaccine content currently circulating online. And all this was on full display at a hearing today before the House with some of the biggest names in tech testifying. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, Democrat from Illinois, who chairs the House committee which co-sponsors today's hearing, joins me now. Congresswoman, I watched parts of the hearing today. What was the plan? What was the intent of today's hearing?
Well, first of all, let me thank you so much, Chris, for having me. I'm a big fan. So the purpose really was, from my point of view, to make sure that the tech companies understood that the day of self-regulation is really ended, and that now it is time for us to regulate, and that we intend to, that we're going to regulate, we're going to legislate, and they are going to be held accountable for what's on their web.
So I will confess to you that I feel very cross-pressured about this set of issues. Right, at one level, I don't love the fact of a few tech companies and their boards of directors and CEOs making these monumental decisions about content, the flow of information, who can and can't get a platform. At another, we've seen the insidiousness and toxicity of some of the misinformation that's spread on those platforms. And then I'm also wary of any kind of speech regulation. How do you think about regulating in a way that sort of gets rid of the bad stuff but balances all those equities?
Well, let me give you an example, Chris. If MSNBC decided to put on an ad to take money for an ad that was completely false, misleading, and hurt the election. For example, there was an ad that said that Joe Biden was endorsed by Maduro of Venezuela that was said in Spanish on Facebook. You would be liable for that falsehood. And why should not platforms also be liable then? So, there are instances, of course, that we want to protect freedom of speech, no question. But, when they are spreading, you've been talking about the virus and all of the misinformation that they are putting out on their websites is just not right.
So you had an exchange about ads with Mark Zuckerberg today. I want to play a little bit about that and then follow up. Take a listen.
Do you think that when you take money to run advertisements that promote disinformation, that you are exempt from liability? Yes or no?
I don't know the legal answer to that, but we don't allow misinformation in our ads. And any ad that's been fact-checked as false, we don't allow to run as an ad.
So it was interesting to me you were focused on the ad part of it, right? Because there's two aspects here, right? There's all the user-generated content, and then there's the stuff in ads. You were very focused on the ad part. A, do you think that what Zuckerberg's saying is true? And B, how would you propose to regulate that?
Well, first of all, trending on Twitter today was the fact that he lied to me. Because actually, when it comes to political speech, pretty much anything goes. Right. They don't check every ad. So that was not right. But I think when they are making money, and they are hand over fist making plenty of money, that they have to be accountable for the messaging that they are putting out there. And it can be very harmful messaging that not only hurts elections, that is putting out bad information about the virus, but it has actually killed people. Facebook was very much involved, and Zuckerberg admitted to it, or what Facebook did a couple of years ago, for the genocide that took place in Myanmar of the Rohingya people. That's how it was really organized, through Facebook.
Right, but there's the case where we get to the more, to me, the thornier question, right? Which is that genocide, the worst thing that's probably ever been organized on Facebook, and you're right, they fessed up to that. That was done through people coordinating on the platform, not ads, right? So then the question becomes like, what those sort of content moderation policies look like, and the degree to which the government is specifically prescribing them.
Yes, but I do think that there have to be some limitations, not just on advertising, but the kind of thing that Facebook has housed QAnon for many, many years. And certainly on the 6th of January, that was coordinated. Well, people died.
And the coordination, in fact, showed up yesterday in some of the court filings, actually, in which Facebook messages in which one of them called an insurrection. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky of Illinois, thank you so much for making time tonight.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Chris.
All right, that is all in on this Thursday night. The Rachel Maddow Show starts right now. Good evening, Rachel.